Hey, my name is Dan, and this is a quick walkthrough of Cybertruck Simulator 2024. And I'll show you a little bit about how I made it too. I ended up making this last year instead of making music, which is probably a bad idea, but you know, when the pandemic hits, you either bake bread or you learn to code in C#. So that's what happened. Full disclosure, I've never owned a Cybertruck, but I tried to make it as accurate as possible. I grew up with these games like Midtown Madness 2 and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. And I just wanted to create a simulator where you could just hit a bunch of stuff, kind of like those games allowed you to. And then it has this little fetch quest that's buried in it. In fact, this isn't the first mission. Let me go reset it really quick. Just clear all my stats. So the first thing you got to do is pick up the kids. And go drop them off, assuming they're still in the car. And looks like I gotta show off the truck at work now. Let's see if I can get over there this way. The greatest thing that the Godot Engine featured was the Doppler effect and some really good audio attenuation. It made a lot of these sounds come alive. I basically made a lot of random sounds. And then anytime you'd hit a vehicle or an object or a token, I'm going to call them tokens instead of people, they would make sort of a random noise when you'd hit them. So the game has a 1:30 timer to do all of these little missions that it gives you, and then if you complete all 3 missions, then you get to go on to the next set of 3 missions. And I figured I'd kind of lay it out like a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, you know, career mode. In fact, that little countdown sound is based off of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. You get this little summary of all the damage you've done. I'll skip through this. I don't know why I have 0 lawsuits though. Typically it shows you how many objects you've destroyed. I guess I got a glitch to address. And then it shows you if you found the Dogecoin. That's actually pretty hard to locate. I think it basically makes a small distant barking noise. I could hear it in my headphones. I think it's off to the right. And it randomly spawns in different locations. Let's see. Oh yeah, okay, it's somewhere back here. Oh, I hear it somewhere in the distance over here. Oh, did you hear that? I did. Ugh, it's really hard to get through these alleyways. Oh, there it is. I gotta go into this park. Yeah. Okay, so I've found 1 Dogecoin. Anyway, I'll show you how I made this. I basically did this in the Godot Engine. Project file looks like this. At the time, the Godot Engine didn't have the ability to play random audio streams. You could just play 1 audio stream at a time, and you'd have to write your own custom script to do it, which wasn't too hard. So that was a recycle bin prop, and then what's attached to it is an audio stream player. And then I can load in an array of sounds and then play them at random in a way that doesn't repeat the same sound. So I basically created multiple versions of the same hit noise when you'd hit like a recycle bin or a lamppost or something like that. And I still have the Ableton file open. Here's all the impacts that I did. I did them all in just 1 Ableton file. And this is my wish list for Ableton, is that you could create little regions and then give those regions a name and then export them all at once, because that would make it so much easier for sound design. But instead, each time I made a change to one of these, I just have to like select the area and then re-export it and name it the same thing. But these are the sounds of when you hit a car. So, and if you want to make this is my pro tip, if you want to make a sound more impactful, just add a gunshot to it. And especially if there's like a little whoosh at the beginning. Yeah. So whenever you hit an object, there's two sounds that goes off. One is attached to the object so that it gets affected by the Doppler effect and it kind of flies away with the object and it gets panned left and right. And then the other sound that happens is just like the car cabin receiving impact. Where did I store those? Oh, they're like right here. So I'll just solo those because I got multiple sounds playing. So that's like the sound of something kind of like hitting the hood. So that plays simultaneously while the object's noise played. And I think that created like a nice sense of impact. Here's all the tokens being hit. And it sounds way better once like the Doppler effect is there. And then some of the cars, they have a second audio stream player that assigns them a random horn noise. And like 30% or 50% of the time they play it. And that gets really cool. And the car flies past you and goes, you know. The engine noise was interesting because it is basically, I'll turn the bird sounds off. Instead of like pitching up like a normal racing game would, I just have one audio loop that's constantly sounds like it's accelerating. And I'm doing that with shepherd tones, which is basically like if you were to imagine a sine wave that starts here and goes all the way up to here. Here is one octave above here. And as it gets to that second octave, the same thing plays again and it fades in. So you basically have like double octaves playing at the same time. So it makes it sound like it's infinitely pitching up. And then I just layered that with a couple explosions that are like reversed. And then there's an airplane cabin noise and some wind noises. These are two field recordings of me just blowing against the mic. This one I kind of like over distorted. That one's just a high one. Oh, and yeah, this is the tire screeching noise, which is just a loop that's constantly playing. But as you start sliding, the volume of the loop goes up. Yeah, but look at this auto pan. I was really excited how that came out. I'm basically just like automating a tremolo effect on top of it. So yeah, that's essentially how I built it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's useful to show you besides me destroying other things. I'll buy a huge OLED TV. Okay, I'm gonna end the video right when I buy the OLED TV. Like, comment, subscribe.